Warning, the content you're about to witness is pretty fucked up. If you can't easily eat a Subway Eat Fresh footlong in one singular bite, don't even think about watching this video. And now, let's start with the intro. Let's see. If I'm correct, then that means that this button right here will do the trick. And, oh, I think this is it, guys. Oh, no, this isn't it. No, hold on. Wait a minute. The button's not working. The button's not fucking working. Hello? Hello? What the fuck? Oh, shit. I recently bought Manhunt on both the PlayStation 4 and PC, and while on Steam it was only $4, whereas on the PlayStation Store it was $9, capitalism. Both could not be any more different. If we're talking the best bang for your buck, please buy the PC version. It is far better than whatever the fuck the PS4 port is. I'm being serious. The PS4 port of this game is so fucking broken that there isn't even a crouch button. Call of Duty has a crouch button. Rainbow Six Siege has a crouch button. Super fucking Mario Brothers has a damn crouch button. How the fuck do you expect people to lightly push the left analog stick? You can lightly push the damn controller up your ass. Yeah, that'll tell them. It's like the developers wanted you to feel the pain for owning a console, and it's not like PC was their main developing platform preference. In 2003, the initials PC were rare to hear, let alone own, especially as an 18-year-old fresh out of high school. Computer gaming had been around since the 80s at least, but wasn't popularized until the mid-2000s with the advent of graphics card companies like Nvidia. Because of this, I can say with some certainty that Manhunt was meant to be played on a console. What a fucking disgrace. But if it seems like Manhunt on PC was a fucking godsend, it is only because the console port of this game was that fucking bad. I have experienced more glitches on this PC port than I have on all other fucking PC titles combined. When the game is working, it plays great on PC. Smooth as can be. Looks crisp even on a GTX 1050. It is an amazing port, especially from a game made in 2003. The problem lies in how much shit it takes to get the game to run properly without failure. First, you're required to install Direct Play before the game starts. Then, you have to download a patch from a third-party website so that you can get past the first level without it glitching and leaving you there with your dick out. After that, you have to download a whole fucking program that helps you set up a profile for the game with certain settings to fix certain issues that the game has. Then you still have to download the specific profile for Manhunt so it'll work. But even after doing that, you still have to set up the profile on your own. Oh, you thought that was it? Hell no, because you also have to force VSync and triple buffering on your graphics card control center. Lastly, there are a few sound glitches that you might want to prevent from happening. The crapper and porn sound. I'm not joking. Want to hear blasted German porn on an infinite loop while playing a game where you kill people to entertain the sexual fantasy of some fat fuck? Then don't delete the porn.rib audio. And after all of that, all of the programs, all of the downloads, the patches, the profiles, the damn eHarmony profile, only then will you be able to play the game. Here. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Oops, I'm missing horribly. How do you target on these guys? It just automatically does it? That's weird. Oh, okay, this is not what I wanted. I thought the green was like telling me to execute him though. How much damage do you take? Holy shit. Jesus fuck. I can't get through here. Wait, I can't get through the first gate though. Actually, I just realized, what does that say right there? Kill this man. What? Kill this dumb fuck. Okay, got it. What's going on in my head right now? Why is my head doing that? I might... What? Motherfucker, yeah, you're supposed to come over here. What is he doing? Open the fucking door! What are you doing? What is... what is going on here? Come through! He can't come through. What the fuck? He can't come in! I'm safe! Oh, fuck this shit. I'm getting out of here. What? Oh, you little bitch. Oh, you little bitch. Oh, you would have thought. You would have thought. Oh, you little bitch. Ah! You sick bastard. Look, I'll play with you. I'll play along with you. Walking through. And he's dead. Those gates aren't closed again, right? Motherfuck! This game is so fucking broken. In all my years of playing video games, I have never once witnessed such an average to good story be suffocated at the hands of such an overtly violent game. Honestly, I'm not trying to sound like a Karen, but I think the message being displayed here would have gotten across far better if there wasn't any blood on my screen every 30 seconds. A big chunk of this game actually makes me laugh, though. The dialogue among the hunters is absolutely the best part of this game. Sometimes I wait to execute a hunter or purposefully attract their attention just to hear some of the crazy shit they have to say.
Shit, we can sort this out like gentlemen. What am I saying? You're a half-breed scum.
Oh, Jesus. Unfortunately, just because their dialogue can be funny doesn't mean that they're nice people. Most of the hunters you're gonna have to deal with are specialized in some sicko fuck category, and the list goes from gang members to mentally disturbed monkeys. I'm not joking. There are monkeys in this game. 10 out of 10. The main character is known as James Earl Cash, who was on death row for his unbeknownst crimes and who's taken reference from the infamous James Earl Jones, who killed MLK. I have been informed that it was James Earl Ray and not James Earl Jones. He actually is famous for playing Darth Vader in Star Wars. Cash was put to death, but you see, he actually wasn't. He was only sedated at the behest of the mysterious director who bribed the cops to keep Cash alive. Now here's a question. How the fuck did nobody question that? You mean to tell me that not one single person saw that Cash was very much so breathing? They just sat there looking at the heartbeat screen like, oh yeah, that's one dead man. And you can't argue that doctors and coroners were bribed too. If that's the case, how many fucking people are under this dude's payroll? Now that I think about it, this whole city is riddled with bad guys. Not a single innocent person roams Carcer City at night. It's just weirdos and stretched condoms in the crooked NYPD. I have been informed that it is the Carcer City Police Department and not the NYPD that is in this game. Both are still very crooked though. So Cash gets freed by this director guy who's filming what's known as a snuff film. For those that don't know what that is, snuff film refers to the actual murder or suicide of a real person or thing that's being filmed for sexual entertainment. You know, the usual fucking content you see. So you go through a shit ton of scenes throughout the game to get footage for the director until, surprise surprise, his final scene involves killing Cash, so you lose contact with him once you escape death. This part of the game is really uneasy. I had to stop here because of how challenging these scenes were without the odd spritz of life that the director's commentary gave me. It sounds weird, but it felt worse to brutally execute somebody and get no recognition for doing something as sinister as that than when I would do it and a guy would basically be fucking celebrating it like it was his birthday. So you find where the director's headquarters is with the help of this journalist lady who helps you because... yeah, pretty much. And you head through his headquarters to find and exact revenge on him for trying to kill you. Oh, did I also mention he killed Cash's entire family? Along the way, you encounter this weird piggy guy. I don't think you gotta worry about him. He shouldn't be that scary. Please don't find me. Please don't find me. It'll be a piece of cake. Say goodnight, you fucking donkey. Little do I know, he'll come back one day and become the greatest. Okay, never mind. He'll just crash to the fucking ground like a Gmod NPC. Cash finds the director, gives him a tummy tuck, and then puts an end to the horror that was the fucking controls on console. What the fuck? The game promptly ends with Cash getting off scot-fucking-free somehow. This journalist lady rats on the NYPD, but forgot that they coined the term snitches get stitches, and she had to check herself into a mental facility. That director guy loved his new tummy tuck, and I got the shits from playing this game. The end. Rockstar North had a clear message to send when they first made this game. As a former employee at Rockstar said back in 2007, Manhunt though just made us all feel icky. It was all about the violence, and it was realistic violence. We all knew there was no way we could explain away that game. There was no way to rationalize it. We were crossing a line. The message, for those who don't know, was to ask of how bad violence can truly get if it piques the interest of the viewer, which is why the game revolves around a snuff film. But I have to admit, as much of a good idea it was to express such a message that could save people's lives, it's absolutely crazy to assume that the message was gonna get across when you can literally hold somebody's head on your fucking belt. Obviously, this game was going to be known as the most violent game on the PlayStation 2. So why would you try and instill a genuine message in something so non-accessible? Literally. Another problem I have is that there was a fucking mutiny over this game, to which I say, what is this? The US Army? Apparently, Rockstar North, who developed Manhunt, took issue with everyone from Rockstar Games, the publisher, who didn't want to see the game produced and released. And, well, for good reason. The murder of Stefan Pokira, I hope I'm saying that correctly, is proof enough that this game was a bit overkill, and its subsequent ban in multiple countries further compiles the attention this game's brutality got. But here's my question. If you guys were so divided by this game, why would you make a second one? Here's my theory on Manhunt. It has no message. It's just a game about killing people. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. The story's pretty good, the stealth parts were ahead of the times, the game wasn't bad, but its main goal had nothing to do with a message, and instead it was about purposefully instilling controversy. It was the world's first troll game. Think about it, do you really think Rockstar Games and North were really having a mutiny over the controversy? Do you think they would have risked such a publicity stunt if it were to convey a message that most people weren't gonna fucking listen to anyway? None of it makes any sense except for the fact that this game was controversial as a motherfucker. Let's see, on console, I'm gonna give this game a 2.5 out of 10. It's an alright story that is completely manhandled by the god-awful controls. On PC, Manhunt gets a 4.5 out of 10. Better controls, but the controversy brings up more questions than answers. And lastly, is this game a horror game? Ladies and gentlemen, no.